Coming up on Good Morning Texas, students unite against a fraternity.
A local Austin business beats out Oprah.
And a live in-studio performance from Megan Betley.
All this and more coming up on Good Morning Texas.
Good morning, Texas. I'm Allie Triolo.
And I'm Marisa Martinez. Thanks for tuning in to Good Morning Texas.
The Alamo Draft House was recently ranked as the #1 most innovative business in the country. The rankings were put out by Fast Company, a news organization dedicated to business and innovation. The Draft House passed Oprah's own TV network, Harpo Studios. Here's what local moviegoers had to say.
The devotion to having the best movie-going experience, the clearest picture, the best sound, the best service, keeping loud people from being loud. It's just the most pleasant way to watch a movie. Have the devotion to having
Tuesday afternoon, UT students led a flash mob in front of West Mall to raise awareness and support for the release of Rodney Reed, an inmate currently on death row for the murder of Stacey Stites. Elisa Semians reports on the city's outcry to stop the execution set for March 5th, 2015.
Students danced, held posters, and passed out flyers to bring support to a man they believe is innocent.
So in terms of the flash mob, we have a whole week of events going on from Tuesday to Saturday this week, and we really wanted to find a way to advertise them and to make a really big statement at the beginning of the week. So this flash mob was to raise awareness. Hopefully we got a whole lot of flyers passed out about our events this week. So it was kind of like an awareness raising, but also the song we picked was about being brave, standing together as a community, and speaking out. So we think that it also sends a really good message that the students at UT are really behind Rodney Reed.
I mean, I just think it's very important for UT students and just anybody to, express their opinions. And I think it's brave that students found a creative way and an innovative way to really showcase their thoughts on this issue.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting that they're also using dance to do that. You wouldn't think that is like something you associate with death row, but...
Right, and I mean, dance is such an expressive art form in so many cultures that actually I find it to be very unique and creative, and I think that they make maybe a bigger statement by using such a universal idea of movement to, project their views versus just maybe picketing or using a sign.
Yeah.
And I, for one, think that this really does stand out above and beyond and gets their point across in a way that people really pay attention to. So, and another thing that people are paying attention to is Instagram. Instagram pictures are moving from your screens to the walls of Art Post Austin this weekend. One by One Texas is a statewide art show that has made its way to Austin from February 20th to the 22nd. The show will feature mobile photography from 100 of Instagram's most notable photographers. Each artist will choose one picture that best summarizes their artistic vision to be displayed for sale. 50% of all proceeds will be donated to Girls Start, a local nonprofit organization that empowers girls through educational programs.
A televised academic seminar put on by the Black Studies Department called Blackademics kicked off its 3rd season in KLRU studios. Nia Wesley shows us how scholars from around the country contributed to the taping.
Blackademics TV kicked off their 3rd season with 2 nights of live taping in the KLRU studios last Tuesday and Wednesday. Blackademics is a presentation that showcases Black scholars from around the world. Speakers present an issue or topic related to the African American demographic and explain research, initiative, and solutions.
There's a set of TED Talks in Austin. There were about 16 talks. I saw like one Black person. And so I felt like, well, we can do something that approximates that really nice model. We can do something that thoroughly integrates social media, and we can do something that speaks to and from a Black Studies perspective.
Presenters from across the country came to discuss a wide range of topics like Black incarceration, literacy, media representation, Black economics, and even jazz.
These were definitely new perspectives on things that I'd never thought about.
What music created by this generation today will be sampled by future generations.
So learning more about the history of Black business and how our business leaders kind of started a lot more than the narrative of what's talked about with Black business owners.
How the incarceration of Black and brown men affects families and communities.
I'm trying to write culturally specific narratives
that draw on the magical practices of people of the African diaspora. They sell a company for $1 billion in 9 months. And again, that wealth transfer is missing the Black community.
And so we came to KLRU, and we did one night, and they loved it, and we loved it, and it just kind of took off from there. It became a partnership.
The show was broadcasted across Central Texas and streamed online nationwide. For more information on the show, visit blackacademicstv.org or blackacademicstv ICUSP on Facebook.
I mean, what an interesting event. I think this is a great idea, and especially, to really point out that, education is universal, and each group, contributes so much to learning and growing and being a world leader.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting they're taking this other department and making a whole seminar about it. And then
I mean, in regards to other cultures, lately in Greek life, the Fiji fraternity, they hosted a party, which was a little controversial. So the Latino community at UT, they threw a protest in honor of fighting for what they believe in.
We're really just trying to create awareness and make sure that people are aware that we need education on cultural awareness, and really making sure that people are aware of people's identities, and just knowing that there are some things that shouldn't be done when planning parties, and you shouldn't really be, in a sense, mocking people's lives and the way that they live.
About 200 participants marched to the Texas Fiji House, holding signs relaying messages of respect after guests of the Fiji party were seen wearing Border Patrol and construction worker outfits.
We are not a joke. Our lives are not a joke. There is no shame in being a migrant. There is no shame in being a construction worker, and there is no shame in having brown skin. Brown is beautiful.
This needs to stop. Like, our culture is not only ponchos and sombreros. Our culture is more than that, and we need to respect that. They need to respect that.
So this party started an actual conversation to where we can keep on talking about how we can prevent and work with UT so that we can have more cultural awareness about different issues.
Members of the march had a meeting with the campus climate response team to ensure changes would occur on campus.
For us, it's a matter of creating a campus climate that is inclusive and welcoming for all students. And so that's why we take it seriously, and that's why it's important to us that we value the students that are here and that are having issue with these kinds of theme parties.
Sandy Marin, KVR News.
Allie, there have definitely been other parties and protests, but I don't think there's been one that had such, a huge following as this one than in the past years.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are a lot of theme parties that get thrown by many organizations in Greek life, outside of Greek life, and I think that many themes can be viewed as controversial, and I think that Fiji's party, really struck a chord with a lot of the student body. And being in Greek life, it is difficult to see somebody that carries your reputation causing a problem that offends your peers. And I think that the only way that this fraternity can move forward is to apologize for offending those. And I think that as people, regardless if we're in Greek life, not in Greek life, any party thrown, any event thrown, it needs to be done in a way that is thought of beforehand, and it needs to be done in a respectful way. And we don't go to a school that's all the same type of people, and I think that we need to respect our peers and what they bring to the table, and in doing so, I think that'll keep, the community more cohesive.
Mm-hmm, definitely. It's also interesting that, there were also different, groups also there
exactly.
at the protest.
So stay tuned. Coming up next, a look at this week's weather forecast.
You're watching Good Morning Texas. Welcome back to Good Morning Texas. We have Rachel Robillard in the News and Weather Center. What's happening in the news this week, Rachel?
Thanks, Marissa. Now in national news, victims from Hurricane Sandy say their damage reports were altered. Many insurance carriers are rejecting claims that flooding from Hurricane Sandy had severely damaged personal property. According to the New York Times, an insurance company cited an engineering report that seemed to establish problems that were unrelated to the storm and were caused instead by the, quote, long-term deterioration. There are a growing number of homeowners who suspect that their engineering reports were similarly written as part of an effort to minimize insurance payments to flood victims in New York and New Jersey after the 2012 hurricane. Now for some local news, an Austin woman may be closer to a one-way ticket to Mars. From the initial 200,000 plus applicants, Austinite Sonia Van Meter is one of 100 finalists to be considered for the first manned mission to Mars. The privately funded foundation Mars One is sending 24 people from around the world to colonize the red planet. For more news in the live music capital of the world, the South by Southwest Music Conference is less than a month away. Trying to guess who will be the keynote speaker is a favorite game amongst music analysts this time of year. A popular guess is rapper Kanye West. The hip-hop artist has a new album in the work, which includes the hit 4 5 Seconds, featuring Rihanna and Paul McCartney. According to Austin 360, Kanye is getting ready to launch a tour. So why not stop in Austin? He has a lot to say about the music industry, fashion, politics, and as we've seen, pretty much anything. So, while nothing has yet been confirmed, there is a possibility we could see Yeezus here in Austin. That's your news for this morning. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Rachel. You know, I think it's so interesting just to think of, you know, I can't imagine Kanye, you know, coming here as all the places to come and just like, he's just has so much to say.
I mean, when I toured UT the first time, it happened to be during the South by week, and my dad and I had a ball. I mean, it was so fun, and I think that it would be a great opportunity for Kanye or any artist for that matter to come to Austin. I mean, it is, you know, the music capital of the world, and there's so many students here who really appreciate his music and would really get a kick out of seeing a big star like that. So, Rachel, how's this weather looking for this week?
Well, Allie, the weather this week appears to be a little different from last week. So if you had put away your coats and scarves, I suggest you bring them back out. Temperatures will get down to the 30s this week. Take a look, as you can see that today will be a sunny day with the high in the mid-60s. Enjoy the sun today and Thursday because the weekend will be rainy. You know what that means. Bring out your rain boots and umbrellas in addition to your coats. There is a 40% chance of showers on Friday, a 40% chance of thunderstorms on Saturday, and a 20% chance of showers on Sunday. The showers are predicted to continue on through next week. Temperatures this weekend will be in the mid-70s to the low 50s. By Monday, the highs will be in the 50s and the lows in the 30s. That's all I have for the weather this week. Stay warm and dry, Longhorns. Marissa and Allie, back to you.
Thanks, Rachel. You know, this weather, Allie, all these jackets and shorts, back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, it's really confusing. I have a small little bed and all of my drawers are underneath, and so I'm like pulling out the shorts drawer and then putting that to the back and pulling out the jackets drawer. But being from California, I'm kind of used to finicky weather, so it's not that big of an adjustment. But when we return, an artist tells us how she's making it in the business.
Stay tuned for more Good Morning Texas.
Live in studio with us today, we have Megan Betley, an indie soul artist who just debuted with her first album, Shake the Dust. So Megan, tell us your story and how you got into making an album.
Well, ever since I was younger, I've been playing music. My family is very musical. I was inspired as a little kid. My dad always played the guitar. So in my house, we always listen to music. So when I was 14, I taught myself to play the guitar, and it's just been like that ever since, pretty much.
So making your album, you know, did you have help or did you do it on your own?
This album is all self-distributed, self-produced. I bought all the equipment and just kind of went to town with it. It was a little hard, a little frustrating, but it, in the end, worked out really well for me.
Do you hope to be, you know, having your album produced by a record company, or do you want to stay, you know, your own producer and make your own albums?
It's a difficult question, definitely in the music business. Being by myself gives me free range to, you know, do what I'd like to do and have my own creative direction, but it's always helpful to have a label backing you and financing some of the stuff. So I think it'll depend.
And so your album's name is Shake the Dust. You know, what does that mean to you, and how did you decide on that name?
Shake the Dust is, I think it's a really powerful statement, especially if there are things that are bothering you, if there are things that weigh on you in your mind. I think it's really important to take a second and step back and just shake it off and kind of clear your head, let things flow.
Interesting. Okay, and so in making your album, I guess what would you say was your favorite part? Writing the songs, recording, editing?
Definitely the writing part, I think, is, the recording is very monotonous. It can be very hard, but the writing is my favorite part for sure.
So you originally are not from California.
Yes, I am from Wilmington, Delaware. It's a state. Trust me, people question that. Yeah, it's on the other side of the country. So last year, I packed everything up, got in my car, and moved to California.
And what was that move like?
It was very hard. I had to quit my job of 7 years as a gymnastics instructor to do it, but I think in the end, it was for the best.
And so now you are actually on a live tour going around promoting your album. So where have you been so far, and what led you to Austin?
Last week was my kickoff show in Los Angeles, and last night I played the Lucky Lounge here in Austin. Tomorrow I play Cherrywood Coffee House in Austin, and then after that I'm going to go to Houston and Dallas, probably a few more states across the country too.
Okay, and then you'll just loop back to LA. Any hometown stops in Delaware?
For sure, sure. Got to get back home. I'm going back for Easter, so I'll be playing the show then.
Well, coming up next, we will have a live performance by Megan. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Now let's hear it for ourselves. Megan is going to take it away with The Dreamer, The Dream from her new album. And before you play the next song, we want to thank you so much for coming on the show and being in studio with us today. I know all of our GMTXers are so excited to hear the music, and throughout the week you can follow us on Twitter at Good Morning TX. Thanks for starting your morning with us, and have a great Wednesday. Megan, take it away.
So safe, only so much security life can bring. Hold back on every chance that you take is worse than always wondering. Could I be more? Could I have it all if I take this jump? Is it worth the fall? Forget what I want, how long till it's taken away? Wrapped up in a game and I can't stay. In the back of my mind, there's always something missing. In the back of my mind, there's always something I'm thinking. been lost.